So the White House has deleted a misleading tweet about Social Security. And Biden said in a speech last week at a Democratic fundraiser, on our watch, for the first time in 10 years, seniors are going to get the biggest increase in their Social Security checks they've gotten.
We face some of the most difficult challenges in our history, but we're actually making progress, helping folks get just a little more breathing room. Lowering healthcare costs and strengthening Medicare is a big part of progress that we've been making on inflation, not just with gasoline prices and other progress.
Well, no, not quite. And China just shocked the world, and the U.S. is in real trouble. Ivanka Trump makes a surprise announcement about 2024 campaign. Dollar General is trying to hide this from everyone, and they don't even care. The U.S. imposes sanctions on additional Iranian officials for crackdowns on protests, and there is a massive storm making its way and coming after Thanksgiving. Oh, and try not to panic about what's likely coming, but there are a total of 6 superweapons that are being prepared for possible World War III. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin, and that is Kevin in all caps when searching for my channel on YouTube or Google. And here I bring you the news, the money, and the motivation. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon for notifications and alerts. Check the description down below for important links like how to get up to $10,000, which is absolutely free to apply, and possibly receive a decision in as little as 24 hours after applying. All right, now for the news. So we had yet another mass shooting that CNN reports highlights America's stubborn gun control divide. So America's shameful tradition of gun violence reared its ugly head again Tuesday evening at a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia. And reports state that at least 6 people were killed in the store, according to local officials, with 4 more victims in area hospitals. This following a shooting at the University of Virginia that left 3 dead less than 2 weeks ago, and even more recently, a shooting at a Colorado Springs LGBTQ nightclub that left 5 dead. And CNN reports that it's hard not to view each incident as yet another result of America's polarizing gun debate. So many Americans hold their right to bear arms enshrined in the U.S. Constitution with very high importance. But others say that right threatens another, the right to life. And it seems as though each shooting seems to entrench everyone's respective convictions. And in an all too familiar cycle, a shooting will prompt some to push for more gun control and others to lobby for less firearm regulation. And thus another tense debate plays out before the issue fades from the national conversation. Then another shooting occurs and we start the cycle over again. So the president, Joe Biden, again called for congressional action yesterday, but the reality of a divided Congress come January makes this highly unlikely. The president said in a statement, "This year, I signed the most significant gun reform in a generation, but that is not nearly enough. We must take greater action." And so the more interesting political response to watch is Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, who has been touted by some as future power player in Republican politics. Youngkin tweeted yesterday, "Our hearts break with the community of Chesapeake this morning. I remain in contact with law enforcement officials throughout this morning and have made available any resources as this investigation moves forward. Heinous acts of violence have no place in our communities." Now, his message closely echoes his response to the University of Virginia shooting. The Virginia governor said, "I know that there's nothing that can be said, there's nothing that can be done in order to bring them any kind of comfort today. And so I think this is a moment for us to come together to support them, pray for them, recognize that as a community, this is a chance to come together and grieve and support them. It's just horrific. There's no other way to describe it." And did you notice what was missing from his response? Although as heartfelt as they may be, is any mention of guns. So if Youngkin is indeed the Republican Party's future unifier, it doesn't appear that will extend into gun control. So the claim can be made that there is a direct correlation in states with weaker gun laws and higher rates of gun deaths, including homicides, suicides, and accidental killings. And according to a January study published by Evertown for Gun Safety, a nonprofit focused on gun violence prevention, they attempt to present that claim. And according to CNN, despite the purported statistical claim, the political debate on gun control in America often becomes untethered from the data, even going as far to leverage other events for consideration, like this. There have been at least 607 mass shootings through November 22nd this year, defined as one in which at least 4 people are shot. That's just short of the 638 mass shootings in the country at this point last year, the worst year on record since the nonprofit Gun Violence Archive began tracking them in 2014. There were a total of 690 mass shootings in 2021. And the United States is likely to soon surpass the total of 610 mass shootings in 2020, with more than a month left of 2022 to go. Adding to that, what's worse is the direction the data is trending. And per the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the firearm homicide rate was 8.3% higher in 2021 than it was in 2020. Firearm suicide rates among people 10 years old and older also increased by 8.3% from 2020 to 2021, and the percentage of homicides attributed to firearm injuries rose from 79% in 2020 to 81% in 2021, the highest percentage in more than 50 years. So CNN reported that it certainly doesn't have to be this way, and made a point to mention that countries that have introduced laws to reduce gun-related deaths have achieved significant changes. So in Australia, less than 2 weeks after Australia's worst mass shooting, the federal government implemented a new program banning rapid-fire rifles and shotguns and unifying gun owner licensing and registrations across the country. In the next 10 years, gun deaths in Australia fell by more than 50%. A 2010 study found the government's 1997 buyback program, part of the overall reform, led to an average drop in firearm suicide rates of 74% in the 5 years that followed. And in South Africa, gun-related deaths almost halved over a 10-year period after new gun legislation. The Firearms Control Act of 2000 went into force in July 2004. The new laws made it much more difficult to obtain a firearm. New Zealand, gun laws were swiftly amended after the 2019 Christchurch mosque shootings, just 24 hours after the attack, in which 51 people were killed. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that the law would change, and New Zealand's parliament voted almost unanimously to change the country's gun laws less than a month later, banning all military-style semi-automatic weapons. And the country of Britain tightened its gun laws and banned most private handgun ownership after a mass shooting in 1996, a move that saw gun deaths drop by almost a quarter over a decade. But CNN said that America's relationship to guns is unique, and our gun culture is a global outlier, and that for now, the deadly cycle of violence seems destined to continue. As a reminder, Biden signed into law the bipartisan Safer Communities Act in June after the House and the Senate approved the measure. And the package represents the most significant federal legislation to address gun violence since the expired 10-year assault weapons ban of 1994. Biden said at the White House as he signed the bill, "God willing, it's going to save a lot of lives." So the package includes $750 million to help states implement and run crisis intervention programs, which can be used to manage red flag programs as well as for other crisis intervention programs such as mental health, drug courts, and veteran courts. These red flag laws, approved by the federal measure, are also known as extreme risk protection order laws. They allow courts to temporarily seize firearms from anyone believed to be a danger to themselves or others. The legislation encourages states to include juvenile records in the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, which would provide a more comprehensive background check for people between 18 and 21 who want to buy guns. And it also requires more individuals who sell guns as primary sources of income to register as federally licensed firearm dealers, which are required to administer background checks before they sell a gun to someone. The law bars guns from anyone convicted of a domestic violent crime who has a continuing serious relationship of a romantic or intimate nature. And the law, however, allows those convicted of misdemeanor domestic violence crimes to restore their gun rights after 5 years if they haven't committed other crimes. But is this really a matter of gun laws and bill proposals, or is it a matter of societal dysfunction and unstable mental health that needs to be addressed? Or perhaps greater pushback that threatens these cowards that prey on the helpless and more than likely unarmed? Leveling out the playing field and knowing that at any given time in almost any situation and environment, a potential killer could be met with equal and opposite force, ready to stand their ground and protect their own lives and the lives of their family, friends, and innocent people around them. Comment down below and share with me your thoughts on that. All right. And the amount of misinformation shared by our government is unbelievable. This is after the White House has deleted misleading tweet about Social Security. So President Joe Biden keeps touting the size of next year's increase in Social Security payments, but his boasts leave out critical context. Biden doesn't explain that the reason the 2023 increase will be unusually large is that the inflation rate has been unusually large. Nor was that context included in a misleading post from the White House's Twitter account on Tuesday, a post the White House deleted on Wednesday after it was widely criticized and Twitter affixed a fact check to it. And in addition, during a speech in Florida on Tuesday, Biden falsely claimed that the 2023 increase in Social Security payments will be the first increase in 10 years, when in fact, there was an increase in every year of the Trump administration and the first 2 years of the Biden administration. Yet Biden has repeatedly noted in recent weeks that Social Security payments will rise substantially in 2023, and he has invoked the increase while reciting his accomplishments as president. And Biden said in a speech last week at a Democratic fundraiser, "On our watch, for the first time in 10 years, seniors are going to get the biggest increase in their Social Security checks they've gotten." And somehow, the White House's Twitter account, which has more than 8 million followers, was even more direct in crediting Biden for the increase. However, its now deleted Tuesday tweet read, "Seniors are getting the biggest increase in their Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership." Now, to clarify, it's true that the 2023 increase, 8.7%, is the biggest in years, actually the biggest since 1981. But that's not because of any positive Biden achievement. And according to CNN Facts First, the increase in Social Security payments in 2023 is the biggest in years because the inflation rate has been the biggest in years. And under a law passed in the 1970s, Social Security payments must be increased by the same percentage that a certain measure of consumer prices has increased. So the increase is known as a cost of living adjustment, or COLA, and the reasoning behind why there will be an 8.7% cost of living adjustment in 2023 is because average prices in the third quarter of 2022, as measured by the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, the CPI-W, were up 8.7% from average prices in the third quarter of 2021. And so when asked about the White House's assertion that President Biden's leadership is responsible for the increase, a Syracuse University economics professor, Gary Engelhardt, who studies Social Security, responded that this assertion is incorrect. In fact, he said the Social Security COLA is mandated by law and has been for decades and is tied to the rate of increase in the Consumer Price Index, i.e. inflation, of which President Biden has control over neither. And from a political standpoint, it is a decidedly positive spin on a problem, that being inflation, which is plaguing his approval ratings. While Mary Johnson, Social Security and Medicare policy analyst at the Senior Citizens League and Advocacy Group, also dismissed the White House's claim. Mary Johnson said that if inflation climbs, then seniors will get more in their Social Security checks the following year to protect the buying power of their benefits. The fact that Biden took credit in this fashion sounds a lot like he's trying to make lemonade out of the inflation lemon. And even further, a second economics professor who studies retirement security, Teresa Ghilarducci of the New School, argued in an email that the White House tweet is mostly true, since Medicare Part B premiums, which are deducted from people's Social Security payments every month if they're enrolled in both programs, are going down next year, giving seniors a bigger net Social Security check than they would have otherwise gotten. Ghilarducci argued that the Biden administration's efforts to lower drug prices could have played a part in the decline in Medicare premiums. But still, regardless of why Medicare premiums fell, we must respectfully say and collectively agree that mostly true is much too generous. right? So the Social Security cost of living increase that has nothing to do with any Biden achievement will increase monthly payments by an average of $146, while the monthly reduction in standard Medicare premium, whatever its causes, will be $5.20. So in other words, the vast majority of the reason that seniors will get more monthly money in 2023 is because of inflation, not because of any success or keeping drug prices in check. And after being asked at a briefing about why the tweet was deleted, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said, "Look, the tweet was not complete. Usually when we put out a tweet, we post it with context, and it did not have that context. Always have it out prepared," right? So Biden has emphasized in recent weeks that 2023 will be the first time in a decade that Social Security payments are going up at the same time as Medicare premiums are going down. And Jean-Pierre identified this as a little bit of context that the tweet was missing. And in his Florida speech on Tuesday, Biden said again that people's Medicare costs are going down in 2023 for the first time in more than a decade, which that's correct. Though the decline follows a much larger spike under Biden in 2022, that 2022 increase was driven in significant part by the need to plan to pay for a newly approved Alzheimer's drug because the drug maker ended up slashing the price of the drug, and because Medicare restricted coverage of it, Medicare could pass savings back to Americans in 2023. But then Biden made a separate claim about Social Security alone where he said, "And on my watch, for the first time in 10 years, seniors are getting an increase in their Social Security checks." And yet again, the CNN Facts First uncovered that Biden's claim that this is the first time in 10 years that seniors are getting an increase in their Social Security checks is false. Inflation prompted an increase in Social Security payments every year from 2017 onward. 2017 saw a 0.3% increase. 2% in 2018, 2.8% in 2019, 1.6% in 2020, 1.3% in 2021, and 5.9% in 2022. So it appears that the context around Biden's Tuesday remark suggests he might have botched his usual scripted line about 2023 being the first time in a decade that Social Security payments to seniors are increasing at the same time as their Medicare payments are declining. And regardless of his intentions, and this also coincidentally being a presidential address just a week before Election Day, he said something that was just plain wrong. So, sorry?
Oops, my bad.
All right, folks, and so now we get to the money. Here are the top 9 jobs that are a quick and easy way to rack up $250 from side hustles. From helping someone move house to assembling their IKEA furniture, folks are willing to fork out a lot of money to offload jobs they don't have time to do themselves. New data from Airtasker has revealed the most in-demand jobs right now and how much you can get paid for them. The platform has released a new services calculator, which looks at the average real-time prices people are paying for Airtasker services across different skills categories, from landscaping to cleaning to putting up someone's Christmas tree. So Airtasker co-founder and CEO Tim Fung said the top categories customers have been booking taskers for includes removalists, gardening, cleaning, handiwork, waste disposal, furniture assembly, pickup and delivery, plumber, and copywriting. And according to CEO Fung, the severe shortage of skilled workers had driven up costs across the board. And it comes as a record number of folks looking to bring in some extra cash take up side hustles. So here's how much you can earn on Airtasker for the most in-demand jobs. As a one-off job, removalists $80 to $200, gardening $70 to $190, cleaning $100 to $250, handiwork $100 to $250, waste disposal $65 to $160, furniture assembly $85 to $190, pickup and delivery $50 to $128, plumber $110 to $225, and copywriting $40 to $100. So this may be a great opportunity for folks to check out if they have some spare free time, tools, and are handy and willing to put in a little bit of work to earn some extra cash. Airtasker isn't available everywhere, but even if the app isn't available in your particular area, the prices for the services offered can provide you with a great baseline on what to charge if you were to choose to go at it on your own and help to ensure you are charging customers accurately and competitively. And of course, the motivation. So entrepreneur.com says that building positive, authentic relationships with members of the media is crucial to your business and its future growth. And here's why. There are many factors that contribute to a business's success, but one of them is brand building. And your brand is what sets you apart from your competition and tells your customers who you are and what you're all about. So creating a positive brand can help you attract new customers and keep them coming back for more. But how do you go about building a successful brand? I mean, there are so many different methods, but one of the most important is developing relationships with key members of the media. This is where public relations comes in, which is an essential aspect of any successful branding strategy. PR can help you build relationships with key media outlets and promote your story to the public. This can help increase your brand's awareness and create positive customer sentiment. So focus on these three core components. Number one, build relationships with key media outlets. 2, be consistent. And most importantly, number 3, develop a compelling story. Every business has a story to tell, but not every business knows how to tell that story in a way that will captivate its audience. So if you want the media to sit up and take notice of your business, you need to learn how to develop a compelling story. And here are 3 tips to help you get started. Number 1, find the hook. What is it about your business that makes it unique? There's always something. You just have to find it. Once you've found your hook, use it to drive your story. Build on it and make it the central focus of your narrative. Everything else should support that hook. Number 2, know your audience. Who are you trying to reach with your story? What kind of tone do they respond to? What topics are they interested in? Keep your audience in mind as you're developing your story so that you can craft something that will resonate with them. Number 3, be concise. The media is always looking for stories that can be told quickly and easily. They don't have time for long, drawn-out tales. So keep your stories concise and to the point. Tell them what they need to know and nothing more. If you can do that, you'll have a much better chance of getting their attention. Thank you everyone for always watching, commenting, and sharing my videos. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon for notifications and alerts. Check the description down below for important links like how to get up to $10,000, which is absolutely free to apply, and possibly receive a decision in as little as 24 hours after applying. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care.